Capital expenditure. As you are all aware also, honorable members, is that the government is operating a gift miss platform. So anybody that has access can equally go to our page and see how we have fared in terms of utilization of the funds, because we don't maintain commercial bank's account like any other MDA now at the federal system. We have this gift miss platform where you can withdraw from and make utilization, direct payment. So it's there for us to see. The next question has to do with the reduction that we have on capital budget. Honorable member asked that what happened, that we had 4.8 billion and we have utilized only 700, and we have not utilized up to 60% of the budgetary allocation. It's because contracts are still ongoing. We are still expecting supplies of computers, printers, and scanners in that regard. Tomorrow, I'm going to be before the Federal Executive Council to seek for the approval of projects that we want to commence at the new EFCC Academy. And that is the chunk of the money here. About 3 billion, was earmarked by the National Assembly for us to invest in the new EFCC Academy. So I'm going there tomorrow, and hopefully, immediately they will give us approval for us to award those contracts. So, and that is why we have this large chunk of money still unutilized. The next question has to do with the executive order and POCA. The executive order came before the POCA. And when POCA was passed, the Ministry of Justice, or the interim management committee that was formed by the Ministry of Justice on the instruction of Mr. President, was disbanded immediately. And assets that were hitherto with the committee, as provided by all security and law enforcement agencies for the disposal, were now returned back to all the agencies. You understand? As far as disposal of those assets are concerned, based on the provision of what? The Process of Crime Act. We are working on that. Accounts were open, and I want to assure you that before the end of the year, we will commence that process under strict guidance of Process of Crime Act. So I will still seek your indulgence, honorable member, that you should still keep your wig and gown in the cupboard so that you don't have to exercise your 34 years experience at the court, to seek explanation regarding the conflict. There is no conflict between the executive order as well as the POCA. Now, on the issue of the purchase of the honorable member, my brother here, asked that what happened, what are we going to buy if we have bought drugs and reagents and all of that. If you look at the heading, honorable member, it says purchase of health and medical equipment. Just last week, I think, or even this week, we received a proposal from my office, DAHR is here with me, that we need about 93 million naira to equip our new clinic at Sokoto Zonal Command alone. They want to buy some machines for testing of malaria and some other tests and all of that. That one will involve more than 30 million or thereabout. We don't even have the funds to do that. So the remaining balance that you are seeing here, which is 37 million, we are trying to work out and see what we can do in equipping that clinic as well as other clinics that we want to bring on board across all the EFCC commands. So the monies are not even enough. Chances are that these drugs too, we may even utilize them before the end of the year or the beginning of the year. So there is no ambiguity here. And if you add the summation of the two items on this first page and the last one, is going to give you the 62 million, which leaves you with the balance of 37 point something million as far as the document is concerned. On the issue of capital budget deduction, I'm happy that you raised it. And I'm equally happy, as I said earlier on, that I have the members of the appropriation committee here, before us. At times, you have no option. It's like a computer, garbage in, garbage out. What you are given is what you are going to now come back and see what you can utilize and make use of it. I will require nothing less than 50 billion, for instance, to build my new EFCC academy alone. And as you have said, we still have offices, across the federation that we require new structures, new equipment. We want to see a situation whereby we have one desktop per officer of the commission. We have not reached 40% on that alone. We still need money. If we have the money, we are going to expend them to buy some of these computers. So it's what we are giving. And I was happy that the proposal that, the budget provision that we had in 2022, this committee played a key role in giving us a supplementary budget of 3 billion. That is what we are going to use now for the EFCC Academy. And we devised, we sat down at management and we said, look, let us have a design of what we want to accomplish on the 20.9 hectares that was given to us by the Minister of FCT. We said the first thing that we need to do is to ensure that we have the designs. We engage the consultants. Let them come up with this in the infrastructure. At least you will be able to have infrastructure and mobility on the said 20.9 hectares. So that is our plan. So we need money. And I'm happy that this committee is thinking the way that we are thinking. And God willing, before the end of the program today, we'll go back with our budget well increased to over 100 billion for us to accomplish all of those projects. So I can't thank you enough. You have made my day honorable.
I'm going to do a follow-up on that.
Yes, you can do a follow-up, and I'm going to answer you with a follow-up. As I said, I'm very happy that you are the ones raising this issue. What we have in the binded document is to explain to you the proposal. That does not mean that it is cast in stone. And I think that is why we are here, to rub minds and discuss. And of course, we are going to take leverage of your own experiences in various committees that we have worked on. And as I said earlier on, I'm very happy that the appropriation committee is being represented here. You understand? And I gave an example that it's just like a computer, garbage in, garbage out, what we were giving. And what we did here, the 4 items, we just looked at, certain things that we feel that we needed, in under utmost urgency, that we have to, continue to, maintain our licenses of certain softwares that we are using, forensic and ICT, as well as purchase of furniture, equipment, and other related, items based on the new offices that we have built under the 2022 budget. But we are not averse to your suggestion, and we are very happy that you are the one raising it, and it will help us to ensure that some of these things are concluded and more are even added. So we can work together to fit you in with so many other things that we want to do, but we are constrained of not including them because the funds are not there. And I want to assure you that the funds that we are seeing, they are all going to be expended before the end of the year. Supplies are going to be made almost immediately, as I said, on computers and the rest. And tomorrow, I'm going to be, God willing, before the Federal Executive Council for the defense of that project that I said. So that too will take care of all of that. So by and large, Chairman, there is no ambiguity on our part. Everything is ongoing. The only thing which you have raised is the issue of the funding. So give us the funds, and then of course you are going to see, items that we can, utilize them, for. So thank you very much, Chairman.
Thank you, Mr. Chair, for yielding your own estimates. Am I correct?
What document?
The document that Babangida said you have listed only.
Department needs to be a bit more thorough with your budget document. Number one, you have not, ordinarily, all your items are to come with your ERGP codes. Your ERGP codes are not expressly indicated in your submissions for expenditures. So there's no way of tracing it to the national budget. No, those are not ERGP codes. That's number one. Number two, Mr. Chairman, if the appropriation committee is to go away with what has been presented here, honestly, what the figures are saying is that this 700 you have expended is quite adequate for you. And I'll tell you why. What you have been able to explain to us has not been reflected in your documents. And your documents need to speak much more than yourself. That is why in basic budget presentations, you have percentages. Even if these are projects you want to undertake, they should be listed there. And of course, with the various levels of utilization, percentage of utilization, and there's even a column that will have the status of that project that will run from the January all the way to December. So budget office, please, I guess what is really saving you is the fact that your chairman is a good orator. He speaks well. So he's really swaying with regards to the facts that are at his fingertips. But you need to make the work much more easier for him and use the standard format for budgeting so that we, at every glance, you actually know the exact status and position of all the various items. And very important, because in other committees, they would have asked you to go back and go and prepare your budget because of the ERGP codes alone. Those are very, very important. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Chair, it contained the percentages of performance in terms of that. And yeah, line item by line item. As we look at the, I agree with you that yes, the capital projects don't have percentages of what? Of execution. Just take a look at the purchase of health and medical equipment. Now, this is not a construction project, and it is an envelope thing that we need to utilize and purchase items that we need. And we have utilized, yes, of course, 62 million out of this. We can easily compute to say that, look, as far as this line of item is concerned, we have utilized maybe 60% of it. That can be done. But because it is not something that is tied down to one particular project, to now give the percentage that we can give on this capital project, except for a few, like in construction, is based on the utilization of the funds alone. You understand? And we have the details based on the projects that are ongoing, for instance, where we are, you know, the position of things and all of that. And I think if it is, you know, that I can guarantee you, you know, we can still go back, all the records are there, and then we can just fine-tune the Excel sheet to incorporate what you have said. And I don't know, Mr. Chairman, whether I can say this, because the honorable member and even my elder brother here was talking about the fact that budgets are being seen based on what you did last year, and then you will not be able to get that the following year. And I think that impression need to change. You know, you can start a year, for instance, we started a year 2019 or 2020, for instance, without any inclination that there will be COVID. And all of a sudden, everything, you know, collapsed. So also things that are ongoing. So the fact that you have certain amount of money this year, that does not mean that, you know, next year you will need that same amount of money or even more, that it cannot go down. I'm not trying to defend what we have, because in real sense is that we need more of that. You understand? So the fact that today we have this budget, that does not mean that year in, year out, we have to maintain that budget. If not, you are going to miss out, because that means you don't need the money that was given to you. Allocations of funds are supposed to be based on need and based on need assessment of particular agency that is presenting their own budget and figures. That is my take on it, and that is my understanding of it. But we have quite a number of things, don't get me wrong, in this regard. But then that is just what I'm saying, trying to explain to us that these are things that should be based on needs of institutions, of parastatals of government. And the fact that they have concluded one, that does not mean that they must or create another one just because they want to maintain certain budgetary allocation to be given to them by the National Assembly year in, year out. I just want to explain this. Yes. Thank you very much.
Distinguished colleagues, we still have NFIU that will come immediately after the EFCC chairman. So can somebody move that this meeting adjourned?
Mr. Chairman, EFCC, having exhausted the budget defense for EFCC,